Wake up, I gotta go get it. Wake up,
Ladies and gentlemen, Couch Podcast, episode 8. Lucky number 8. I don't like the way I did that.
That boy put 9 fingers up for 8.
Yeah.
Right. That boy, slow little dude. I'm just
Hey, bro,
hey,
that's I think that kind of goes along with the theme of how the podcast might go today, bro. Because it's one of them days. I ain't gonna lie to you.
bro. Hey, it's all good. It's all good. I just had to point that out.
What a beautiful start. What a beautiful start, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Couch Podcast, episode 8. Javaris and Stackz, Rich River in the building. My brother, what's
going on? What's going on? What's going on?
Man, I cannot complain, man. It's another beautiful day to be above ground, man. That was funny. That was great. That was great. Another great week of college football. Week 7 is in the books. A lot transpired this past weekend in college football.
That it
did. So, man, we're not going to waste any time. We're going to get straight into it. We're going to open up with the biggest news of the week. James Franklin fired at Penn State after 12 seasons, going 0-3 in the this final 3 games, and of course 0-3 in conference play in the Big Ten. Brother, I mean,
what they say? The writing was on the wall.
It was.
They were sketching out that mug. Ain't no writing. They were drawing hieroglyphics. Well,
it couldn't be any clearer. But I think the biggest thing was this the right move, or did Penn State pull the plug too early? And
how long are you gonna give him?
I think that's the right answer, man. Like how much time can you give somebody? But also, I do want to put it this way. I realize James Franklin, amazing person, amazing individual, great coach, provided a lot for Happy Valley, provided a lot for Beaver Stadium. But when your fan base gets so fed up with the same result, and we both know what insanity means. It's doing the same thing, expecting a different result. And that just can't continue to go on. Like, I get that James Franklin was a great mentor for those kids. He was a positive role model in their lives. You know, some of those guys that they needed Penn State, and Penn State came calling. But sometimes it's just best to move on from a situation when you want to elevate. It's a business decision,
brother. It's you gotta separate personal the person from the business. And being a head coach, that's fine. That's obviously head coaches, assistant coaches, all coaches are vital to players and people. Like, you know what I'm saying, motivators and stuff like that. But at the same time, being a coach, you're in a results based business. Like, you can't, you know what I'm saying, especially when you're at a team that is highly touted and highly respected as Penn State. You want to win. You want to compete. You want to, like, had you won one championship and then kind of got, you know what I'm saying, like a Ohio State situation. Like, they were kind of like there, but they couldn't quite get back to where they were, and then they finally got over the hump. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I think that's where he was at. Like, it's like, don't get me wrong, I give him a lot of flack, but he's a good coach. He's not a bad coach. Obviously, Penn State, made playoffs last year. I mean, they've won, in their conference or whatever, but it's time to move on. But he definitely got paid out. He definitely is pretty set for a while. So I don't think. I mean, obviously he wants to be coaching, but I mean, he'll have a job somewhere. He'll have a job somewhere.
And I think if I was reading somewhere, like in his contract clause, he had to find a job within broadcasting or another coaching gig. So, like you just said, I truly think he will not be without a job for too much longer. And
right.
He's gonna go somewhere else and truly make an impact, and hopefully he'll bring a championship. to
Yeah, because
any program
change
he
of pace,
goes to.
change of scenery. I mean, Saban did it after he left LSU and went to the pros, and then
Yeah,
came back and went to Bama, and then became Nick Saban. I'm not saying that James Franklin is going to do the same thing, but I'm just saying the new scenery.
yeah,
Uh, it yeah, Kalen DeBoer. Like I mean, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, before Washington, you kind of didn't you knew who he was if you watched him, but you didn't know who he was.
yeah,
Washington did great. Then he came to Bama. You know what I'm saying? Bama did okay last year, and then now they're on pace to be one of the teams to beat. So I mean, change of scenery, change of resources. You know, I mean, you just never know. I mean, it could be a better situation for because I mean, I think he can win a championship. I think he can compete. I just don't think that it was gonna be at Penn State just because of he just couldn't get over the hump. Yeah, I mean that's because I mean Georgia saw that too at some point. Like I mean with Mark Rick, I mean he had a great record. You know, I think he was like 120 and 50. You know what I'm saying? 15 straight bowl games. He was like, all right, well we're good, but we want to be that upper echelon team. We want that championship. So you move on. You find Kirby Smart, and then we see what happened with that. So I mean, change of scenery is not a bad thing. I don't think it was too early. I mean, they gave him plenty of time. Uh, yeah, if it was any other time to make a championship push and win one would be last year. But you know, I mean, yeah, I mean, you got all that talent and you don't do nothing with it. So I mean, don't finish the drill like that, so to speak. So
yeah.
yeah, I mean, like I said, he'll get another job somewhere and do just fine.
I 100% agree with you. I think it was the right move, not only because, of course, it was just time, but also you're now in a situation where your starting quarterback Drew Aller is now out for the season with an ankle injury. So I think I hate to put it this way, but it was just a perfect scenario. Like he
Yeah,
needed to get out of there. He needed to
yeah,
get out of there.
yeah.
Of course we joked every week on the podcast about we had the whole James Franklin has he moved his things out of his office tracker, but
Well,
I
he
mean
might have. Like,
you're right.
you know,
We never know. But I mean we joked about things like that, but at the same time, like it almost very much so got very like potentially violent, in Penn State, and so I think you never wanted to get to that point where the fans are pretty unruly to where they're like, all right, like this, like the last game they played against Northwestern, this man had the biggest security detail leaving out of Beaver Stadium that I've ever seen in my life. Like I've never seen a head coach need this much security personnel leaving out of the stadium. So you don't want to have to go through that. So I think it was just best for both sides to just
for
like
sure.
we said, breakups happen sometimes, and sometimes they're for the best. And that was just one of those situations this time. So, but yeah,
Agreed.
man. Now I mean we're at the point now where, that unforgiving, sometimes luck of the draw. My brother, that good old coaching carousel, the power switch has now been turned on. So now the question is, I mean we got to start looking at potential replacements in Penn State, and I think one of a few names that are starting to come in the mix are Matt Rule from Nebraska, of course. Some of these guys have turned the rumors down, but if the money is there, you got to take it. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, and Penn State is not a bad sale. I mean,
yeah,
they have culture, they have tradition, they have I mean, they have some sweet uniforms with the whiteout game. I mean, uh, one of the more grittier fan bases. You know what I'm saying? Um, the fan base wants to win. Um, so I mean, it's a good place to go, but it's gonna be tough because not because it's going to be hard in the sense of winning. I don't think that was ever the problem. I think the problem now for whatever coach comes in, fans are going to expect winning immediately. So they're going to expect you to win immediately. They're going to expect you to make playoffs because Penn State is not a hard sell to anybody. Like, cause I mean, yeah, I'm an Auburn fan, but you know what I'm saying. If I was playing and whatever, Penn State came knocking on my door, I'm like, I might consider. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm just saying because I mean, they're always televised. They're always, you know what I'm saying. A lot of people have come out of Penn State. You know, one of the best running backs has come out of Penn State. That's playing in NFL right now. The linebackers, you know, defensive line. I mean, the list goes on. So Penn State is not a hard sell, but the hard job is going to be kind of like, in a sense, how the boy had to deal with, because fan base is like, no, we want to win. Like, we ready now. Same thing with Georgia. Like, they was ready to win now when Kirby got hired. So that's gonna be the only challenge. But like I said, it's not like a place where you have to, like how Dion took over Colorado. You literally had to sell everything to get elite players to come, because nobody wanted to come to Colorado. That was a 5-star, whatever. But people want to go to Penn State, so I mean that could be a potential selling point for a coach.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
Again, I think this whole um move at Penn State, it now puts a scope on a lot of programs, because now, ADs and fan bases are really looking into their program like, hey, do we need to make a change as well? And you're starting to see that now with like Florida. A report came out saying that this could be Billy Napier's last game this weekend.
Well, we been
We
he
listen.
that joker seat and burned up a couple times. I mean,
I brother, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. Florida could beat Mississippi State 100-0 this weekend, and I still think they might end up getting rid of Billy Napier. Like, I'm not
yeah.
gonna lie
I
to you.
mean,
I'm not
yeah.
gonna lie to you.
That's a
I think
different situation.
right.
That's
But
that.
but but again, I say that I say that with it saying that again, like this move really just had teams really, sitting down
Yeah,
and really
yeah.
having to come to Jesus me like, okay, like, hey, is it time for us to make that, that change,
Right.
or do we need to, start looking at different personnel or different things like that? That's why I said that, the coaching carousel is now turned back on, because this is probably one of the most hectic times of the year where, when a coach, especially of a big prominent P5 like that,
Yeah.
you're now trying to find a replacement, and somebody, again,
Yeah.
like you said, that's going to make an immediate impact. And like
Yeah.
I said, Matt Rule and Marcus Freeman from Notre Dame. Notre Dame hasn't really done much. So I mean, Notre Dame could be ready to get rid of Marcus Freeman. So it's a
Now
lot of
that,
names.
to me, that would kind of be outlandish if you fired him,
Yeah,
because you definitely was in the play of the fight. I mean, the championship last year. You know, so I wouldn't, just because yeah, I mean, you competed for one. The coach you had
yeah,
before kind of did the same. So, and then he's only had the ranks for a couple years. So I kind of, with him, I don't think it's quite that time yet. It's because, I mean, he lost a lot of people from last year to this year. You know, so I mean, and the main position being the quarterback, that's hard to come back from. Like, I mean, you've seen it, I've seen it with our teams. I mean, when you lose a quarterback, that's like, what do we go from here? But if they do it, I mean, I would have to honestly figure out their reason, because just because of how he's done up until this point. I mean, they haven't done great this year, but previous, I mean, you was just in the championship, so you see that the where it can go. You know, Penn State, you didn't even sniff it yet. You kind of didn't really get where you was trying to be. You know what I mean? So I don't know, but maybe.
I
But the
agree.
coaching carousel is definitely gonna be crazy, because I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
you kind of know where
absolutely.
where teams are gonna fall at this
Yeah.
point.
And I mean, also we have to I mean, you kind of have to throw in the portal window for Penn State now. Especially when a coach leaves during the season like this, guys are ready to get out of there as quickly as they can. So it's gonna be interesting to see who notable names from Penn State that enter the portal and try to find a new home as well. So. But yeah, man, just an all around crazy scenario. Wish the best for James Franklin. Of course, we talk about these guys. We might pick fun at them, but and all in all, we do wish the best for him. Great guy, great individual, great coach. And so yeah, just moving forward, just kind of going to be interesting to see what's going on in Happy Valley, in College Station or State College, Pennsylvania. So yeah, man, let's move on to these good old recaps. You ready to recap?
I'm absolutely ready.
All right, let's do it. Let's start off with Oklahoma, Texas, Red River Rivalry brought the drama once again. Now I'm about to take my belt off. I'm going into dad mode. Man. I'm about to go into dad mode because we sat here on this podcast, man, and literally said that Oklahoma should have not played John Mateer. And what did they did the absolute opposite of what we said. And
Yeah,
that man went out there and threw three picks,
yeah.
man.
I thought he was gonna be like completely healthy. That's why I said if he plays, then I have Oklahoma winning. But he did not look healthy at all.
No,
Like, you know what I'm
no.
saying? Like, you don't rush that back. For me, I'm like, you sit him out because I personally think they could have won with their backup. I think so. Just based off of how Texas has been playing. Had this been last year, absolutely not. You kind of got to try to take that risk just because of the depth of Texas and how they were playing. Like the only team that really messed with them last year until the playoffs was Georgia. And that's not a bad team to struggle against because I mean it's Georgia. Georgia's been dominant the last few years, but this year they could have beat them with their backup. So I don't think. I mean, you try to rush it. You beat them with if you beat them with your backup. Now you have time to rest your starter so that he can, you know what I'm saying, propel you for the playoffs because your playoff hope would have been well intact. But now you risk injuring him further. Then you lost because he was not ready and he was not healthy and he was rusty because he hadn't played in 3 weeks. So rust and injury, and you play a pretty solid defense in Texas. It's a recipe for disaster. And then you give Arch Manning some confidence. So yeah, so I mean that game, yeah, that was our Arch's coming out party.
Let me tell
Honestly,
you something. It's so funny you say that
so,
because I don't know why they thought that man was game speed ready. I just don't understand. I don't get it. I will never understand
and
it.
maybe they
Maybe.
didn't think he was game ready, but maybe they thought that he was that much better than his backup
Well,
because
I mean, yeah, I could agree with that. I mean, again, like this was a guy that was a Heisman candidate towards the beginning of the season, so I can understand that. But at the same time, you don't put your Heisman front runner in a predicament like that to where he's not game speed ready. He's not ready. I don't
this
care. I don't care if he can do all the rituals he wants to make sure his hand is ready for this game this past Saturday. Don't put him in a situation like that, especially across state rivalry as big of a game as the Red River Rivalry is. Don't put him in a position like that. I don't care how much he even tells you he's ready. He's not ready. A broken hand, sir. This man had a broken bone in his shoulder.
agree, and I mean I'm agreeing with you, but I'm saying like well maybe he looked different in practice because I mean that is a thing. Maybe in practice it's like okay,
Yeah,
your hand is,
but that's
but it's different in game. I don't know. I mean I
exactly,
wouldn't have went with it. I
exactly. Thank
mean
you.
I maybe that's what they saw. I'm just trying to understand
Yeah,
like what was the purpose. I
yeah.
mean is it because he gave you a better chance even while being injured? Maybe they thought his decision making because I mean he did uh well it seemed to me that they tried to get the ball out of his hands quicker.
Hmm.
But when he couldn't get it out quicker, he had to wait for those slow, long developing routes
Yeah,
to occur, then
yeah. And I
you
mean,
kinda
if you're Steve Sarkisian, man, you're picking that apart from the very first
Right,
throw,
right, right.
from the
And
very
they
first
and they
pass.
did.
That's exactly, and
That's
that's
why
why
he
they
had to push the ball down the field because they started
listen.
figuring it out. Like, oh, they just doing quick passes.
Yeah,
Like, and you know, a quick pass
he
essentially for
wasn't.
the most part is an extension of the run. So if we can
Mhm.
slow that down, then they're gonna have to take some shots. And
Yeah,
then add to the fact that Texas was scoring.
mhm.
So I mean, okay, so
It's
now you got to push the ball down. It'd be one thing had you been scoring and everything on the quick passes or whatever. So now you can kind of stick with that because
yeah,
you're not so worried about the score because you're up or you're scoring consistently. But no, like Texas was scoring consistently, but you
yeah,
weren't. So you kind of got to push the ball down the field. And
right.
then what does that do? That puts
It
tension on your like. I mean, absolutely. To me, I wouldn't put them in at all. So
yeah,
that's just kudos to Texas for capitalizing. They did
yeah,
good. They did great. Arch did a great job. I think the yardage, the numbers didn't wow you, but to me, it was more so about how comfortable he was and how he got his confidence back.
yeah.
The decision making was good. He didn't need to make the big, deep passes as often. So, I mean, yeah, yeah. So Texas needed
But
it, needed this, needed it,
yeah,
needed this.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, like you said, I mean, Arch was really in his groove. He was really, he again, he needed this confidence boost, and I mean, quite frankly, this man had so much confidence that he probably could have made a run for governor and probably beat Greg Abbott for Texas governor. Like, I mean, he really, it really turned around for him last week, and I think he needed that because he's been struggling. Let's be honest.
Right,
He's been
right,
struggling this season. So
right.
he needed this game, and so it was good to see him kind of find a little bit of his swagger and just kind of just find something to just kind of um be able to continue the season on with, and I think this game was a much needed win for not only the Texas faithful, but just for that team morale and just to kind of help them. Because man, when you go into to Gainesville and you lose to Florida, especially just with the season that they're having, that can be demoralizing. So
Right.
yeah, man, it was good to see. It was definitely good to see that Texas got the W. But I really need to really just get a breakdown. You know what I'm saying? Like I really meant to try to find some reporters like that write for Oklahoma and see what did Brent Venables see in practice last week to him for him to make the decision. Yeah, let's roll with Mateer. Like, granted, Michael Hawkins only played one game, but it was against, I can't remember at the moment, but I mean, with the passes that he threw, he didn't really get a chance to play a lot. I mean, he threw for 3 touchdowns. They pulled him. He only threw for like 160 yards. So if you really want to, I would have said give Michael Hawkins a chance. Give him a chance. See what he could have done first, and then if things weren't going the way that you needed, or the way that it didn't seem, or not the way that it didn't seem, the way that you
But
wanted them to, then let's roll with Mateer. Like, that's
but
your last
see,
hope.
with that, you know, and I agree that he should have been the starter that game. But to pull him and then go with the backup, I mean, which was essentially the starter, and go with him, it's sending a message that you don't trust him. Then now you're in game. You have the momentum is taken from you. You know, so it's helped people in the past.
Mhm.
I mean, but that's not the case normally.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, yes, it helped Bama. We all know the story about that. But that's not the case for most quarterbacks when you know what I'm saying, because you have to have a special, special, special backup to be able to step into that role. Game is on the line, or when you're losing, or when the defense is having their way with the starter or whatever, and you have that confidence to come in and play clean and play like. So I mean, I understand why they didn't go that route, but in my mind, You let him play the whole game. You put him in.
Yeah.
You live with the result. I can honestly live with that result. Had we lost with the backup in, because it's like, okay, the backup's healthy, you know, because you recruited him, so you obviously think he's good,
Mm-hmm.
and then you know what I'm saying. So backup's healthy. He got it done for us. He's got confidence now. He's got real game situation, not just a team that you're supposed to beat. You played against a solid Texas defense with a solid coaching core. So yeah. So I mean I don't see no downside. So even if you lose that game, you know, that's something for you to evaluate going forward, you know. Now you still have absolutely nothing besides the game that he threw 3 touchdowns and then you pulled him. You don't know how he plays when the defense standing on the other side of him is just as talented as the offense that he's a part of. So, uh, yeah, I wouldn't have pulled him if he was doing
Yeah.
bad. I'd have let him play through that. You know,
Okay.
especially if my starter or now backup is hurt and
Yeah.
not 100%. So,
Yeah. Yeah. It's
yeah.
going to be interesting to see. I know they have a game against my goodness, I was just checking their schedule for the week. I know they have a game this weekend. They are playing against South Carolina, so that could be a game that we see Michael Hawkins play. I would not chance putting Mateer back out there
Yeah, because you want him
until
for next year. You know what I mean? Let
yeah,
him chill
I
out. You
I
know what
would
I'm
not
saying?
chance it. I wouldn't chance it. This that yeah, too way too early. Let Michael Hawkins get some reps in. Let him build some confidence. This is the game to do it. I would put it like that because, quite frankly, I will say this: you never know what South Carolina team you're going to get. But if it's going to be any time, the time is right now. You don't want to put him in a. If you're this worried about putting Michael Hawkins in a big game situation, this is the game to do it against South Carolina. I just have a feeling that this would be the game to do so. I don't know why, but I have a feeling. I can't explain it, but yeah. So, but yeah, man, that's it for this year's Red River Rivalry. I'm surprised I'm saying it. You know,
You're doing good. You're doing good.
yeah. Thank you. I appreciate
Yeah.
that. Let's move over. Let's move over to all Alabama and Mizzou. Alabama and Mizzou. Alabama, Mizzou. Alabama, Mizzou.
This was a great game.
Yes.
Well, Bama's defense grew up. They
Okay.
grew up.
I thought I was alone. I genuinely thought I was because okay, I will be honest with y'all. Me and Stackz talk about the games, but I don't think we really talked about this one a lot, over the past week, this past weekend. Like we didn't really get a chance to chat for real. But thank you, like, for reading my mind because I can 100% agree with that. Like that's a statement I'm 100% behind. Like
Yeah.
Alabama has the defense has really shocked me, which is really going into saying that I really think they can win out this year. I really think
Yeah.
they can win out. I think they can win out. I mean, we saw like again. I don't know. We will never understand or know what happened that Florida State game, but that's not
Nah,
the same
that was rough.
thing.
You
Yeah,
gotta think.
yeah,
That's
that
his
was not the
first
same
ever
thing.
start as
Hmm.
the guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you're playing a team in Florida State who literally prepared all spring and summer for Alabama and forgot about everybody else.
Hmm.
You know, they
That's
literally,
fair. That's fair.
because I mean, quarterback talk junk about Alabama, saying that this ain't that. We gonna handle business. You know what I'm saying? And they got hit in the mouth. It's his first ever start. You know, a lot of these guys, like, this is his first time having the reins. Like, you're the guy. You go get us a dub. That's first game out the gate. Like, normally you start with a warm up game. No, your warm up game is a pinched off Florida State team that is like, no, we not like we was last year. I mean, until after that game. But We're not like we were last year. We're gonna beat Bama, and they game plan for Bama like no other, right?
Yeah.
So I don't fault him. You know what I'm saying? First game of the season, you're knocking the rust off. You know what I'm saying? Your first time at live action against a opponent other than yourself, meaning other than your teammates. I'm not mad at that. What I enjoy is from week 1 to week 2, he does not look the same. And then from week 2 to now, he is a completely different quarterback. And that is what Nick Saban embodied as a coach. He said, no, nobody care about what you were as a freshman or what you were in your first start. Don't nobody care about that. Can you be coached? Can you get better? And Ty Simpson is embodying that through and through. He has heart. He demands the ball. I've never seen a quarterback demand the ball like he does. I literally see him on the sideline. Give me the ball. Let me make a play. And he does. He shows up. And when you got a leader like that, I mean, you can't get mad
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, that's a championship team. Not just because the defense is playing better, but because of his mindset. You
Yeah.
know, he's a winner. You know, I mean, he's got a lot of growth to do, obviously, but he has the mindset to do it. Like he's throwing an accurate ball. He's extending plays with his feet, and he's not super fast. You know, he makes a mistake and makes the adjustment and makes an even better decision next time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Bama grew up. The
Yeah.
defense grew up, and you know, that was a tough opponent. Missouri just they ran out of fight because Bama figured it out. You know, so
I think that's
that,
the perfect scenario. You have a quarterback that sits, behind, you know, two great quarterbacks who are now, in the pros. And when you get your moment, you get your time, you go out there and you light up. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
that's the perfect scenario you would want in
absolutely.
a quarterback that has sat for as long as Ty Simpson has. So I mean, this is we talked about it last week, and some people may say I may have sounded like a hater, but no, I'm not hating on Ty Simpson at all. Like I genuinely think he is the best quarterback in college football at this moment. I mean, we've
Yeah,
had everybody else has fallen. Like everybody else that was
yeah.
front runners.
Except Carson. Oh, front runners. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, essentially, it's him and Carson. I mean, yeah, you're correct. It's him and Carson, but as of right now, like from week 1 to now, as far as his progression, I think
Oh,
he
for
is the
sure,
best.
absolutely.
Yeah,
He's the
he is
most
the best.
improved player.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
he is the best
absolutely,
quarterback in
absolutely.
college football right now, and I think he very well could win Heisman by the end of the season. I mean,
And
just
I'm not
yeah,
gonna lie, that I would be ecstatic
yeah,
because
yeah. I think
I would
so
be
too. Yes,
ecstatic simply because like of the fight he had to endure to get back. Like you know how much pressure that is. You
hmm
playing for arguably one of the best college football teams in the last 20 years.
hmm
You know, well not 20 years, but 15 years, whatever. Or yeah, you can say 20 years,
yeah,
and then you go to you're at a fan base that is all about winning, all about winning, and then you lose your first start, and then you come back and you play out your mind. Then you come back and play even better. And then you play a solid Georgia team and you play even better. And you don't look phased at all. Mistakes, he looks the same. In good plays, he looks the same. Everything looks the same in his demeanor. He don't change. Like, yeah, the intensity picks up, but I'm saying, like, you see some quarterbacks get shook when they make a mistake. No, he looks the same when it's going good and when it's going bad, and that is scary
yeah.
because that means you can't rattle him. You
I,
can't rattle him.
that again, that's one of the scariest things about um facing Alabama. I mean, those guys get into any situation and just don't seem phased about the environment, about the moment. They go out there and they play the game. And I think that's just one of the things that I admire so much about Alabama as a Georgia fan. I admire that. I mean, they go out there and they just again play the game. They don't care like as far as like you have to line up for 60 minutes just like they do. That's how they look at it. You have to line up for 60 minutes just like they do.
Absolutely.
And when that clock strikes zero, they're gonna do everything in their willpower to make sure that they have a W. And so
Yeah.
I think that that's a scary thing to have in a team. It's just when they just know we both got to play 60 minutes, but within those 60 minutes we're about to tear you to shreds. And so I
Right.
mean that's and now that their defense is looking the way that they're looking. I mean the offense we already knew the offense was gonna be good, but the defense is now clicking and on all cylinders. Again, I really think we might have a problem on our hands coming, to the latter part of the season with Alabama. So
Right.
yeah, but on the Mizzou side, man, I think both Prabula and Coach Drinkwitz, they just, especially Alabama coming into Mizzou, it just wasn't it just was not their game. I mean, again, like I said, with that defense clicking, and now that they um they look as dominant as they do. It just was not their night,
Yeah.
and both do. I mean, Prabila is still a great quarterback. I think that Mizzou is still a great team. I mean, it even showed kind of within the first half. Mizzou was getting sacks left and right, and I mean that defensive front that Mizzou has is actually pretty good. Like I'm not even trying to front here. Like Mizzou's defense is pretty good, but once
Right.
Todd Simpson found the holes and found some cracks in it, he was like, all right, it's time to pick these boys apart, and that's what happened. But yeah, man, Mizzou is still a great team. I think
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Ahmad
Absolutely.
Hardy, the receiving core that they have, but Prabula just has to get out of his head. He has to make some reads because, ironically enough, the two picks he thrown was essentially on the same play, and Alabama was able to read it a second time and win the game. I mean, you
See.
have you got
Right.
your receiver. Just saying, you have a receiver that's sitting right here, and he's like, "We just ran this play, and you threw the same pick twice.
Right.
Like you have to
Right.
find me. I'm right here." So I think that's just that. Yeah, but really just has to make the right reads and just kind of just build the confidence and he can get back on the right track. I think.
Oh, absolutely. I think the problem with Missouri, they had a good game plan, but go see your point that he has to get out his own head. Even prior to this game and during this game, he has a problem pushing the ball downfield. Missouri does not push the ball downfield consistently, and they have big time playmakers that can make big plays. But again, it starts with the quarterback. You got to be able to make those reads downfield and put a pass on the money. So I think again, like added to your point, he's got to be able to push the ball downfield. As we know, college football, NFL, whatever. Now, I mean, everything is passing game. Set or run second. So you got to be able to push the ball downfield. Just a little dink and dunk is not going to cut it. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're trying to compete for a SEC championship and then or just a conference championship, or and then a championship run. So Missouri, they'll bounce back. I mean, that was their biggest test up until this point. So, and man, they didn't lose by a crazy margin either. So I mean,
Yeah.
it was not like they just got blown out or whatever. They were right there. So I mean, even with the misuse and even with them not pushing the ball down the field, they were still knocking at the door. It's just nobody answered.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so
I
I
got
mean that's essentially what I saw from that game.
Yeah,
So
man.
yeah.
I can get with that. I can get with that. Let's move over to this last recap. USC and Michigan. USC Michigan. Looking like I okay. I'll make it a little easier. So let's really just I really want to just break down Bryce Underwood, freshman quarterback for for Michigan. Man, so the kid is so talented, but I think he is just underperforming for this Michigan team. And I mean, they take a loss in Southern California or downtown LA, and it's I don't know what's going on with this man. I don't know if the moment is just too big for him, or if he wasn't ready per se. But at the same time, I think you don't have anybody else. I mean, Sharon Moore literally was like, "Hey, like this is the guy that's going to lead this Michigan team." But it's some of the decision making from this freshman man. I don't know, and but I think the scary part is he's only a freshman, and he's going to have so much time to grow and develop at Michigan. Like that, I think that is the scariest part about Bryce Underwood. Like right now, we're seeing it's almost like a tree, right? You planted the tree, but now you get to actually watch it grow. And when you see how big it gets, it's going to be a scary sight. And I think that's what we're seeing right now with Bryce Underwood. But on the other hand, I mean, we're USC is the number 20 team in the country for a reason. I mean, could they be higher? Absolutely. I mean, Mavia, however you pronounce it, Mayavia, I can't pronounce it. Um, he's one of the top quarterbacks right now as far as passing yards for a reason. I mean, he's a real deal gunslinger. It's Josh Hoover from TCU, Sawyer Robinson from Baylor, and Jaden Mayavia, him, USC. So I mean, I really think that with this USC team, with them throwing the ball like that, and I just don't think Michigan's pass defense is built for it. And so I think that was one of the reasons why they really took a hard loss. I take that back. The rush defense from Michigan. I mean, their USC's running backs ran all over Michigan, and so
I think things are and kudos USC. They look good. They have a great coach. You know what I'm saying, and they're looking good right now. And they handle business. They handle business. Um, but I think for Michigan, one, you got a freshman quarterback. So I mean, these are new situations for him. So as a coach, you got to coach that up. So to everybody else, it looks like, oh man, what is going on? I thought he was supposed to be so great. On the other hand, as a coach, he's the best option we have, but we have to coach him up. So it's not about this season, and let's not act like last year was great either. You know what I'm saying? So, that's a tall task. You have a freshman quarterback. He's seeing things that he hadn't seen in high school. You know, and then you have to figure out the confidence factor, and then you have to put him in situations that help his confidence. And I don't
yeah,
think they're doing that. And in my opinion, Michigan's head coach is on the hot seat as well. In my opinion, I mean, I don't know about what everybody else, but Michigan is another program that wants to win, and they have won. You know,
yeah,
but now you go from being a champion to 2 seasons of what is this?
yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So, but you have the talent. You have a talent in your quarterback. You just have to, like you said, you plant it and you watch it grow. But the thing that we forget is that it has to grow and that it takes time. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's, how many quarterbacks have we seen? But as a Georgia fan, when Stetson first got to Georgia or whatever, and he actually was playing, he did not look like the Stetson that won the championship.
Mm-mm.
You know, he did not look like that. But he got better and he got good. And then it was like, okay, now you're the guy. And
Mm-hmm.
then when he grew, it's like, oh, bet, like this, I'm getting comfortable. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing that I always go back to. Don't worry about being a starter, and don't worry about going to a program just for the money. or because it's this program. Go to where it fits you. Who's gonna coach you up? Who's the best fit? You know what I'm saying? I don't care who it is. Like you can go. You might not like USC, but if Lincoln Riley is gonna be the one that's gonna coach you the correct way, and his offense is built for your skill set, go there. Don't just go to Michigan because you grew up a Michigan fan, or they offered the biggest check, because it might not be the best situation, because that might be your last check because you was in a bad situation. You know what I'm saying? And and
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's in a bad situation. I'm just saying that it's gonna take time if
Mm.
he decides to stay there, and even if he goes somewhere else, it's gonna be time because you got to build that camaraderie with your receivers. You got to build that camaraderie with your line. Got to build that camaraderie with your coach. Got to understand where your receivers like the ball. Got to understand coverages when they're doing different stuff, and when they're dropping from a blitzing personnel and dropping back into coverage. Like how you read that. You know what I'm saying? Okay, when they're blitzing, when this guy comes, who do I send it to? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you have to process so much as a college quarterback that you don't have to process as a high school quarterback. You know what I mean? Because normally, if your team is good, you just beating up on the local people. Like, you know what I'm saying? But college, you don't know who you're gonna run into. There'd be a 5-star from your school, they school, his school, we school. Don't you know what I'm saying? So for him, I just think he just needs that time.
Yeah.
Like this is not probably it's not gonna he probably won't figure it out this season, and if he does, it's gonna be late and it's gonna be too late. And I think he'll have another head coach because I think that Michigan's coach is up out of there. You know,
Yeah.
either after this year or next year if they don't do anything better or different next year. So that's my take on Michigan. You know,
All right.
he just don't look comfortable. They just yeah.
Okay.
I don't
All
see the
right.
fight.
Hey, hey, that's your opinion, and you sticking behind it. I like it. I like it. All right. It gets to a point. The question for the night, or the day, or whenever y'all watching this. All right. It gets to a point. Was James Franklin the scapegoat for a bigger issue going on at Penn State?
Man, I don't know what else is going on, but I don't think he was a scapegoat. I think that fans and boosters and everybody are ready to be champions and compete
Yeah.
consistently for champions. I think we're in the state of I want to be like this team. Not necessarily taking that identity, but we want to have a winning culture. Like everybody wants to be the Ohio State that consistently competes, the Georgia that consistently competes and has won a championship, the Bama that consistently competes and has won multiple championships. Everybody wants to be that stature, and when you're a big school and name wise you're on that level, but result wise you're not. Yeah, if you can't get it done, and they gave him ample time. It's not like they just hired him and he's been there 3 years. My boy been there for a minute. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
And he's had some up and downs, like some And I'm not saying be perfect every year, but you gotta make playoffs. You gotta beat who you supposed to beat. You
Yeah.
can't lose to a UCLA team that is not won a game, doesn't have a coach, you know what I'm saying, has nothing going on, and then turn around and lose again, like, to a team you're supposed to beat. That can't
Yeah.
happen. Like, it's one thing if you've been beating everybody you're supposed to beat, and even some that you're not supposed to beat, and then the one time you get to a team that's better than you or equal, you lose. That's
Yeah.
one thing. But if you're not beating the people you're supposed to beat, and then the people that you're equal to or supposed to lose to, you still lose. You know, it's kind of like, all
Yeah.
right, bro, you might not be.
Yeah.
Because you see, their thinking is now, do we want to deal with another year of what ifs, or do we want to go ahead and just blow it up? Because we can get what ifs with a new coach. Like, you
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like, at least with Georgia, with Ohio State, with Bama, you know what I'm saying? It's to a point where it's like it's a what if, but it's a little different because like we know we're gonna compete. You know we're gonna be in the picture. You know what I'm saying? Like obviously it's not set in stone who's gonna compete for the championship, but you kind of know. All right, they're gonna be in the picture. Is Penn State is anybody's conversation every year talking about making playoffs or competing for the championship? No, you know what I'm saying? Ohio State is, Georgia is, Bama is. Like, you know what I'm saying? These teams are. Oregon is thrown in there sometimes. Like, but nobody talks about Penn State competing
Yeah.
for a championship. You know, and that's not Penn State's culture. That's not what they want. You know what I'm saying? They want to be in that conversation.
Mhm.
You know, so that's. I don't think it was a bigger. I don't think he was a scapegoat. I think
I
they were just fed up.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think it was a bigger issue going on in Penn State either. I mean, if anything, if anything, it would more so be like just it was. I think it was again. It was just it was time to phase out. It was really it was overdue time. It was overdue for a phase out, quite frankly. And you know, James Franklin did. You know, he just couldn't. He could not get the job done at Penn State. And
Yeah,
when you get complacent, because me and you have talked off cam where this season has just felt like teams have just been doing enough to get by. And I
yeah.
think
It's
when you
not.
have
It's
so much,
not. Yeah.
yeah,
Good.
when you get so much, yeah, I was just saying when you get so much complacency going on, it really puts a damper on the season because now you just every Saturday you're just sitting there looking at okay, I know what to expect. And you know you don't want that. Like college football is supposed to be exciting. Like it's supposed to be you know, a sport that really brings, you know, an experience like any other. Like that's why I always say, you know, we say it because, you know, we believe it's true. Like in college football is better than you know pros, and so
I
just
got a
because of
question real quick. I got a
okay, go ahead.
question real quick, not
What's
to
up?
cut you off.
No, you good. What's up?
Well, kind of a two-parter. Have
Okay.
you noticed that college football now the games are closer? You're not seeing as many blowouts. You're not seeing like
Mhm.
that excitement as much. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Like
yeah.
to me, I and I could just be tripping, but college football is feeling like the NFL. It's starting to feel like NFL. Like, because you notice NFL is like close games where all that matters is that you win. Like, think about it. Like, Bama just barely won, and everybody's like, I mean, I agree that they're dominant. They're starting to be dominant, but everybody's like they're dominant. And Georgia barely wins. They're like, oh, they're dominant. Uh, and then Ohio State. You know, I mean, they didn't barely win, but they didn't win by normally what they would have won by against somebody like that. And they're dominant, dominant. I guess for me, only time I would say you're dominant is if you just, you know what I'm saying, you're just handling business every week, like not just winning, like you was trying to embarrass people, like you know what I'm saying. You're not gonna blow everybody out, obviously, but it's just like everybody's just barely getting by. I feel like to me. And for the people that say, "Oh, you just saying that because you are a fan, it's been hard to watch your team." Absolutely, but I'm a football fan first, and this football is just it just don't feel like the energy is not there. I don't feel it from week to week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I get up happy and excited to watch football, but I used to get up and get excited to watch college football because I knew it was gonna be electric. It was gonna be exciting. It was gonna be gritty, all of that. But I just haven't felt that this year. Like,
Mhm.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, just haven't felt that. Like, I don't know. May I just had to voice my opinion on that. You know what I'm saying? But I just
No.
feel like I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's NIL. I don't know. I don't know. It just feels different.
Yeah.
Like it
I
hasn't been.
I
Yeah,
I 100% think the same. I mean, and this again, this is our safe space. Like this is our podcast, right? So I'm gonna say how I feel. Like I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like waking up on Saturdays is starting to feel like a task. Like I'm not even gonna be. I'm gonna be 100%. Like I don't get the same excitement that I once used to get. Like looking forward to Saturdays for like some of the games. Like because
yeah.
just with week by week of what we've been seeing, the performance has been lackluster, man. And I'm just kind of like to a point now where I'm like, like what is it gonna take for the performance to get better? And having conversations with some people, I'm like, man, like, I was all for these guys getting money and getting paid. Like, granted, I'm still for it, but it's almost like these guys are just, like you said, playing for a check. Like, they don't even necessarily care about the wins and losses anymore. They're caring about, hey, what is this next? What is my next endorsement check gonna look like? What is my next, you know, like how am I going to be able to break some of this $1 million check off and give it to my parents, give some to my parents, but able to keep some for myself and just take care of my people. You know what I'm saying? Like it's that's what it's starting to feel like now. Like they don't care about championships. They don't care about any of that. Sorry about that. We had a minor technical difficulty there. I think we're good now. So we're just gonna pick back up on just like we were just pretty much stating that um the Saturdays just don't feel the same.
Right.
They've gotten lackluster, and I remember where we were at. You were about to say something as regarding when I was saying like the kids are just now playing for, the check. They're just playing for
Yeah,
now. Yeah,
that's
yeah,
essentially what it feels like. That's essentially what it feels like.
mm-hmm.
Some do better of hiding it than others, but it just feels mundane.
Mm-hmm.
I still love football and I'm gonna still tune in, but it just I don't know. I just felt like it feels a little different. You know.
Yeah,
That's my but but I just had to put that out there.
yeah.
You know.
I agree. I agree. I think. I mean, will
Oh,
we get back
and
to?
congrats in order to y'all. We talked about Auburn Georgia game before. Congratulations to Georgia for going ahead and winning and keeping y'all streak alive against us. You know, we gonna put that out there.
Well,
Nobody told me what to do if we lost, so I just wore red and black so that
well.
I had to, you know.
Much appreciated, my brother. We definitely, and again, I always look forward to, Georgia Auburn. Again, that is our rivalry. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what really,
Absolutely,
yeah, the foundation of College House Podcast was built on was because of the Georgia Auburn rivalry. So, um,
absolutely.
yeah, brother, I have no um hate in my heart towards any Auburn fan. I still enjoy traveling to Auburn. I still enjoy visiting Auburn. I think Auburn fans are some of the best fan base, like one of the best fan bases in not only the SEC but in the country. I mean, every time I go down, it's always good vibes, and I have a blast, and the people are just phenomenal. So, I hope that this. I think this may, some fans may feel like oh, I can't stand, but I don't
Well, I
believe it.
mean, it's a rivalry, so I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
especially if you've gone to the school before. So I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
if
exactly.
you went to Auburn or you went to Georgia, to me, for me, like I only can't stand it when we play each other. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? At 0-0, I got no problem with nobody.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I'm saying? You got your opinion, I got my opinion.
mhm.
It's all good. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Till next year. We'll just see you
right.
next year. That's how I
Yeah,
look at it.
and and that's and
Um
that's and
Again,
that's the thing too.
football, I'm a football fan first.
Yeah,
Football fan first.
yeah,
Yeah, I fell in
like,
love with the sport of football first.
yeah,
And then I became an Auburn fan.
right.
So, you know what I'm saying? And it's questionable as things might have been or whatever. You guys won. You handle
Yeah.
business. I
Yeah.
can't get mad at that. You know, would I like to have seen other things done differently in the game? Absolutely. But
Mhm.
as a fan, I'm supposed to feel that way if I feel like things should have been different. Do
Yeah.
I think you guys still would have won? I think so. I think the game would have been closer, but I still think you guys would have won just because of I think you have a better coach. You know what I'm saying? I think you have a better coach who makes better adjustments. That's what I think.
Mhm.
But I would have rather it been straight up in the sense of not having all the other extra additives
Yeah.
in there. Had it been, none of that or less of that, I call a spade because I thought we was gonna lose coming into the game because I mean Georgia's been hot, but
Yeah. Yeah.
we
Y'all
lit a fight another day.
very much so had our number, and agree again. I agree. It definitely could have went another way. But also, I think before we get into the game previews, I do want to add to a point that you made. I want to say this, like, when the clocks hit zero, regardless of how you feel about the game or whatever, you have every right to feel the way you feel. You have every right to be upset, but don't take out your transgressions on other people. Don't disrespect how people feel about a game or the way it, because again, there has to be a winner and a loser. And again, the way this game transpired, of course, there are people that feel differently about the way it resulted or anything like that. But at the end of the day, it's a game. Like, you know, I I put money on games myself, so I get, sometimes there are gonna be times where I'm gonna be angry, I ain't win no money, or whatever. But I'm never gonna take out my transgressions on other people or disrespect someone or anything in that manner because it doesn't matter. Like I'm not suiting up for the University of Georgia. You're not suiting up for the University of Auburn, or Auburn
I
University.
will now. No, I'm just kidding.
I know. You know what I'm saying? And regardless of how much money we feel like we put towards a school, whatever, we might spend money on gear, apparel, whatever. It does not. It does not. It's not worth ruining relationships with people.
Oh,
That's
absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely,
It does
and
not.
and
It does not.
and
It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
even
So
during the game, like I mean,
yeah,
talking junk is one thing. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like you might have thought it was a touchdown. I mean, I might have thought it was a touchdown. You might have thought it was a fumble. That
mm,
hey, we can all speculate. At the end of the
yeah,
day, you know what I'm saying? They called what they called.
mm,
Because honestly, both of us got screwed over on that play because I feel it should have been a touchdown our way. You guys got a fumble, but you didn't get the touchdown. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? So somebody messed up twice. You know what I'm saying? So if a touchdown, fumble. Because if you get the fumble, then you can advance. Because no
yeah,
whistle was blown. So either way, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I can have my opinion. You can have your opinion. That's
yeah.
what makes the game great. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly,
When
exactly.
we can have our opinion. Like I can say, I think Georgia should have did this or Auburn should have did this, and you can say the exact opposite. Doesn't mean that I have to snap on you. I have to hate you because you have a difference of opinion than me.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's just
let's,
how it is. Like you know
let's
what I'm saying. Both options could have worked. Two
yeah,
things can both be true.
all
You
in.
know that is a possibility. So
Yeah,
I mean, this game, I personally think this was a how do I put this? This was a game that was disastrous.
yeah,
Not from player standpoint. I personally think from official standpoint it was disastrous.
mm,
And I, by no way, shape, or form am I saying that it would have made us win had it gone. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that to me it was terrible from the jump from them,
mm,
and it should not have to be that way. Should be straight up football. If you get a penalty, that change that. If you get a penalty from a bonehead move, that's one thing. But if you are getting things because of an official choosing to do that instead of you actually doing that, then I have a problem with that. You know, if I come over here and I mush your face after the play is over, absolutely I should get a flag. Or if I grab your face mask while we are running and playing and this, that, and the third, absolutely I should get I should get a play call. I should get a flag call in that. But if I'm not doing anything that warrants a call, I should not get that.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm saying that to say that officials should not dictate it. Player should dictate if you win or lose. Players and coaches should dictate if you win or lose. You know, not saying that it changes the outcome or whatever. I'm just saying it should not be them having a hand in that.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Agreed. I agree.
Now, whether
And
they miss something or whatever, don't matter. They should not have a hand in it.
all in all, it's like I said, it's just a game. They're
I
going to
just
be
had
more.
I just had to put that in there. I couldn't.
Appreciate it,
I
man.
know I had talked about not
Yeah.
talking about it, but I
Hey,
had to
and
get that
listen,
off my chest.
full transparency. Like I told you, this is our podcast. If we don't want to talk about something, so be it. I could care less at the end of the day. Like, I hope people will continue to watch us because of the commentary that we provide and, somewhat of the, comic relief and just how much fun we have on here. But I'm never going to do something if neither one of us are comfortable doing it. So, full transparency, brother. I appreciate you for, doing that. But hey, this is our safe space. This is what we created. So, I'm doing what we feel comfortable doing. So, but yeah, man, let's move
Absolutely.
on. Yeah,
Absolutely.
for sure, for sure. So, let's move on over to this week 8 game preview. Let's start off with it's one of the greatest times of the year, the third Saturday in October. We got Tennessee and Alabama, my brother. Always a fun matchup.
Uh, yeah. I think two high powered offenses going
Mhm.
at it. I think it'll be a sight to see. I think
Yeah,
it's gonna come down to whose defense can stop who.
yeah.
And I think it's gonna be a close game. I think it's gonna be somewhat of a higher scoring game, but I don't know if it's gonna be like how LSU and Ole Miss was at one point. I don't think it's gonna be like super high, but
Right,
I think
right.
it's gonna be kind of mid high scoring.
Okay, okay.
So yeah, that's
I
how I
I
feel. Excuse me.
I can okay okay. I will say this. I will say this. I I I feel like I need to see another big showing from Joey Aguilar, and I haven't seen that. I feel like since the Georgia game, like I feel like we have lost, like we have lost Joey Aguilar somewhere in the atmosphere, and I really
He plays up to competition. That's
yeah
what I think Tennessee this year
mm,
plays to their competition.
yeah
And when they played Georgia, they played up. And a
mm,
lot of other teams, they played either that mediocre, regular, or they played down. You know, that's not good for the long run. You should always play like this team can beat you.
mm,
But that's to me from what I've seen from Tennessee. They're a great football team. It just seems to me that they play to their competition's talent level.
yeah.
If it's a big game like Georgia, they came out. I was like, God, dog, like they was on fire. You
He
know what I'm
was he was
saying? And
perfect. He was perfect in completions. I think the first half he
right,
was
right. He
yeah
he was on pace to have a
mm,
record-setting day. Like you know what I'm
yeah
saying? Patrick Mahomes numbers, like in college, like he was on pace for that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, of course, adjustments were made, but I'm just saying, like they haven't shown that burst since because they played to who they're playing against instead
yeah
of playing to like anybody could beat you. Like if you play everybody like they're Georgia or they're Bama or they're somebody of stature, you know what I'm saying? You when you get to those teams, like you already ready. But it seems to me like they like when they play good teams, they're on fire. When they play mediocre teams or teams at their same level, it's like, now we gotta get started. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they stall first and then it's like, now we can push the button.
mm,
You know what I'm saying? That's just how I feel about it. But I think again, Bama is a team of great talent, so I think that it's gonna be like one of those games.
yeah
You know.
okay.
Now the
I
defense has caught strides, so they could prove me wrong, but
yeah. I will say this. Um, Tennessee won't beat Alabama, but Ty Simpson could beat Ty Simpson. And when I say that, last game against Mizzou, he had a fumble and he definitely took some very costly sacks. And I think if he avoids that, Alabama is going to cruise past Tennessee with no questions asked. Like there is no question that Tennessee could beat Alabama. So that just has. I think that's something that he has struggled with this season. I mean, just taking some sacks, and that I think that just really, of course, that goes along with the O line. So the O line really has to do a very very solid job of protecting Ty Simpson this weekend, and also, I mean, just the decision making from Ty Simpson, it has to be a tweak better. I mean, you can't afford to take a fumble like that or just a sack. So
mm-hmm.
I think Alabama shouldn't have any issues with Tennessee this weekend, but only time will tell. And I mean, we're only
For
48
sure.
hours from that. So yeah, man, I think that would be a very high powered game. It's the nightcap game for ABC, so it's definitely going to be some fireworks, I think, for sure. Let's move on over to the best. Let's move over to the best team in the state of Georgia, Georgia Tech versus Duke. Can the Yellow Jackets stay consistent?
Yeah, again, yeah. I
Yeah,
think they still continue to do their thing.
another guy
I
who
think
I
they
forgot
still
to
continue.
mention, who's in that ranking system of just passing yards this season with Sawyer Robinson and Josh Hoover. Darian Mensah from Duke, the quarterback, man, he has been looking really good. But I think Georgia Tech can stop Duke. I really do. I don't have a question, so to say. Um, that defense just has to really lock in on pass defense. Like that defense has to watch for the passes because Darian Mensah can sling that thing. Like he can really throw the ball. So I think um, Haynes King, Jamal Haynes, um, excuse me, Malachi Hosley, those three together, and wide receiving court all together, there's no issue that this offense can't be able to score the ball against Duke. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a good game going Georgia Tech's direction, and yeah, I'm looking forward to that game as well for Georgia Tech. All right, you ready? Oh Lord,
Yeah.
Jesus, Georgia and Ole Miss trap game
Um,
potential.
I think I'm gonna take Georgia simply because I think they have a bad taste in their mouth from
Yeah,
last year.
yeah.
So, and they're at home. So,
When I tell
I
y'all
mean,
Jackson Dart picked us apart, it didn't make no sense.
yeah, and I don't think they have that consistency at quarterback like they had last year in Jackson Dart.
Yeah.
So, I
Well,
think I mean, good.
no, I'm just saying. I will say this: their starter Austin Simmons, the guy that came in behind Jackson when I think he sat out for a few plays with the injury. He looked really solid. Now he's hurt, and they're the backup for Ole Miss now. His name slips my mind at the moment. He's been looking really solid this year. He's looked really good. But I think I
Yeah,
agree with
but
you.
yeah. I mean, in
Georgia's a
normal
different.
circumstances,
Yeah,
that's a different
Georgia,
animal.
Georgia,
Right.
Georgia at home, especially if you have not been put in an environment like Sanford Stadium, it's a little different. It's a little different, and so
Yeah. So if Ole Miss had been home, I probably would have been like more so Ole Miss just because of the
yeah,
environment.
right.
But I mean, you got a new quarterback on the road at Georgia at that against Georgia
Hmm.
and that defense. I don't.
Yeah.
I think. I don't. I think it's gonna be a low scoring game because I think the only way the only way either team wins is if their offense can find rhythm at some
Hmm.
point. Because Georgia's offense kind of sputters from time to time. You know what I'm saying? And then they finally find a rhythm, and then that's when they started figuring it out. Um, Now I picked Georgia, you know what I'm saying, because it can take their offense forever into the day, like we saw last weekend, and the defense is not gonna, they're gonna hold up.
Hmm.
And I don't think Ole Miss has as much firepower as they did last year, but their defense is still pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. So, but I think the Georgia's defense is better, and I think that um that's gonna be the difference. That's
Yeah.
gonna be the difference because these offenses are both inconsistent, you know, but I think Georgia's defense is a little bit better, and I think they're
Okay.
gonna end up getting the more of the stop, the bulk of the stops. So
Okay. All right.
yeah, yeah.
Let's
So
move
I
on to the
got
last.
Georgia on that one.
Okay. Let's move on to the
Mm-hmm.
last one. LSU Vandy. Now, Vandy 2 weeks ago in Alabama. I mean, I just know Diego Pavia
Yeah,
has a bad taste in his mouth. From
yeah.
this
I
was
got
five.
Vandy for this one because
Yeah,
I don't believe in LSU this year.
yeah.
I
I
don't
mean,
believe in them.
I could care less if they're sitting at 4. I don't think. I don't know.
They're sitting there
I'm,
for
I'm sorry.
because
I'm
of the
sorry.
conference they're in.
I'm sorry. They're not number 4. They're number 10. They dropped. I forgot they did drop this.
Good, yeah,
Yeah.
good because they
Good.
to me they.
Good.
No,
But
I'm being like they're not like right now to this point they're not a top five team
yeah. Agreed.
in
Agreed.
my opinion.
Agreed.
Their
Agreed.
record may reflect something different or whatever, but the way that they've had to play now, granted they haven't had an easy schedule by no stretch,
Hmm.
but um, but I still think that like Nussmeier is not consistent. Defense is good, but it's not consistent.
Hmm.
Um, I just think I still think right they're still it feels like they're still trying to find an identity, you know. And it's that's bad to say when you have a veteran quarterback, and veterans on your defense that but yeah. I don't believe in LSU's coach either. I don't believe in him.
Oh,
So
good old,
I don't
good old Miles. Good old, not Les Miles. That's not
yeah.
Les Miles. That's
That's not listening.
that's they look
That's
alike.
Kelly.
Yeah,
It's
Brian
Kelly.
Kelly. Yeah, Brian Kelly. Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think
I can't
you said what?
go.
Oh, I was just saying, yeah, I don't think LSU has it. And again, Vandy needs an upset. They need a big one. They need to get one
And
big.
yeah.
This is the one. This is the one to get
Yeah.
it. So
They, yeah.
yeah. All right. Other notable games to watch. Like I said earlier, Baylor TCU this weekend. Sawyer Robinson versus Josh Hoover. Two just, I mean, gunslingers. So you expect a lot of passing yards in the
High
game.
scoring game. Yeah.
Yeah, very much so, high scoring game. Washington, Michigan, two excelling running backs. We got Jonah Coleman from Washington, as well as why do I always forget this kid's name? Justice Haynes from Michigan, the transfer from Alabama. Really good running backs that are going to be matching up this game. Oklahoma, South Carolina, um, Texas Tech, and Arizona State, and then another one that's a really big game, a historic matchup. Notre Dame and USC is this weekend as well. So some good games to watch out for the Week 8 slate. And yeah, let's go ahead and hop into these quick Week 8 game picks for Week 8. My brother, are you ready to rock and roll?
Let's roll.
Solid. Friday at 7 p.m. on ESPN, Louisville, number 2 Miami. Who you got?
I got Miami. I got Miami. They hot right now.
We're gonna roll with Miami on that one, my brother. Number 10 LSU. I'm sorry, number 12 p.m. on Saturday on ABC. Number 10 LSU. Number 17 Vandy. Who you got?
Vandy.
I'm a roll with Vandy for the upset, stamping that for upset of the week. Also at 12 on ESPN. Number 12 Georgia Tech versus Duke. Who you got?
Georgia Tech.
I'm rolling with the Jackets. Please don't let me down. Um, also 12 o'clock on Saturday on Fox, Washington and Michigan. Who you got?
This is hard, but I got
It's
Washington.
very hard.
Even though
Yeah,
I think Michigan is due for a good game, but I think Washington pulls it out.
I think so too. If Washington gets hot, if specifically if Jonah Coleman gets hot, because this guy can really run the ball, just like how I know Justice Haynes can. I think we're going to definitely be having another conversation the next time we have for the next episode. 12:45 on Saturday on SEC Network. Number 14, Oklahoma and South Carolina. Who you got?
I got South Carolina with the upset.
Okay, I'm gonna
I
take
got South
Oklahoma.
Carolina.
I'm gonna take Oklahoma. I'm just really praying for Michael Hawkins sighting. I just really hope that they've learned, not to put John Mateer back in the rest of the season. Hopefully. Uh, 4 p.m. on Fox on Saturday. Number 7, Texas Tech and Arizona State. Who you got?
I got Texas Tech.
Guns up, baby. I'm rolling with Texas Tech. 7:30 on Saturday. ABC. Number 11, Tennessee. Number 6, Alabama. Who you got?
I got Alabama.
I'm gonna roll with the Todd. Yeah, I just Todd Simpson is just. I think
I
he's
see
really.
what you did there. See what you did there.
What you mean?
You gonna
Oh
roll
yeah, I'm
with
gonna
the
roll with the
Tide.
Tide. Yeah, I'm gonna roll with the Tide. I'm gonna roll with
See
the
what you
Tide.
did there.
Thank you.
See what you did there.
7:30 on Saturday, NBC. Number 20, USC. Number 13, Notre Dame. Who you got?
As much as I want to say Notre Dame, I'm gonna go with USC.
Okay. Okay. I see where we're going. I see where we're going. CJ Carr, man, he's looked really good. Like, I mean, just from the first game versus Miami, like he's really been very consistent. I'm liking what I'm seeing, but I really don't think Notre Dame is ready for a real deal passer like how Mayava is. Yeah, I'm gonna roll with USC on this one as well. I think I'm gonna take USC for the upset. All right, we got two more. 8 p.m. on Saturday on Fox. Number 23, Utah versus number 15, BYU. My goodness,
That is insane.
that is
BYU's been hot, so
yeah,
I'm gonna roll with the hot pot.
yeah.
I'm going with BYU.
That's a crazy matchup.
That is
Um,
crazy,
that is insane.
and the fact that they're ranked is
Yeah,
crazy.
right.
Both of them
LJ,
are ranked. Should I say.
right. LJ Joyner from BYU is I mean one of the most underrated running backs I think this season. So yeah, I'm take
It's insane.
BYU. Also, definitely a game to look forward to on Saturday, 3:30 ABC. Number 5 Ole Miss, number 9 Georgia. Who you got?
Not Georgia with the
I'm gonna
upset
take.
over Ole Miss.
I'm gonna take my dogs for the win on this one, man. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all again for kicking it with us for another episode of the College House Podcast. Sincerely sorry for the technical difficulties we had earlier in the episode. Um, bear with us. Sometimes technology gets the best of us, so hopefully it won't happen again moving forward. Yeah, man, just continue to follow us, find us, like, comment, share, subscribe, however you go about, watching us or listening to us. Yeah, college football is kind of getting close to the end. We got 8 more weeks left for college football, and we're gonna be looking at some playoff contenders and other things moving forward. So yeah, remember we drop on Fridays at 5 p.m. on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify, and of course, we drop reels and stuff on all the social media platforms that we're on. So yeah, follow us at College Couch Podcast. Stackz, my brother, take us home.
Hey man, appreciate y'all tuning in to the College Couch Podcast. Tell a friend, tell their auntie, cousin, now College Couch Podcast where it's at. You got somebody that's doing their thing in whatever sport. You know what I'm saying? Let us know. We want to give them some shine, give them a shout out, give them the due that they need. Yeah, appreciate y'all. Continue to watch, continue to subscribe, and comment, sharing. We appreciate all the love and support. But we got bills to pay, so we gonna get up out of here.
You know who it is. You see that? You see that? You see that thing right there? You see that?
Wake up, I gotta go get it. Wake up, I